The News at Noon starts right now.
Well, San Antonio police are still busy this noon investigating several violent incidents around town over the past couple of days.
Over the weekend, 3 people died in 2 separate incidents. An investigation is underway into a shooting that killed 2 people over the weekend. SAPD got a call about a fight and was dispatched to the Casa del Sol apartments on the northwest side. They found a man with a gunshot wound at the front entrance of the complex. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. While investigating, police found a second victim who had also been shot near an apartment door and died at the scene. The shooter still unknown.
Well, shooting on the top of a downtown parking garage left 1 person dead and multiple people injured. So this happened just before 1:30 yesterday morning at the River Center Mall parking garage downtown. And San Antonio police say someone pulled out a gun as a group of people were arguing there. So when police got to the scene, they found 1 man dead and an 18-year-old was taken to the hospital in critical condition. A 16-year-old was also grazed by a bullet. San Antonio Police Department reporting as of right now, no arrests have been made because several of the people who were detained have been uncooperative in the investigation.
2 people are in the hospital and detained after a stabbing overnight. It happened after 11 p.m. on the far west side of town in a neighborhood near Culebra Road and Loop 1604. San Antonio police say a man went next door to complain about a parked car and brought a knife that looked similar to a machete. That's when we're told there was an argument at the door, which escalated to a fight, and that knife came out. We're told the victim was cut on the face and arm, and the suspect was cut on the hand.
Well, happening today, the Ingram City Council will meet to discuss their budget and tax rate for the 2025 and 2026 fiscal year. They will also take possible action on the proposed Kerr Emergency 911 network, a system that delivers emergency telephone calls to the appropriate public safety dispatcher.
Also happening today, Kerrville will meet to discuss economic improvement. Some things on their agenda include the city's continuing response to flood recovery efforts and project status updates to the downtown area streetscape, Olympic pool renovations, and parks and traffic signals.
Look out there with live cam this afternoon. We're at 83 degrees, and I know, Justin, you've called like this week's weather boring, but I think we can handle it.
That's good.
I mean, a little boring, but that's okay. We deserve some of that too. I will say that there are a couple showers that we're seeing on authority radar there, mainly east of San Antonio. It's something though we'll watch because some of this activity and this surge of moisture that we see down there to our south and east may work a little closer to San Antonio this afternoon. So I can't rule out a stray shower or storm. I don't think it won't have a big impact on your evening commute or after school plans or anything like that. But we could see exactly this, just these spotty showers that pop up and go away pretty quickly. Right now, we've seen some of this activity around Cuero, and it's working towards Yorktown at this hour. Nothing around San Antonio, but again, that could change a little bit later today as some of those showers work a little closer. 86 degrees at the airport, 86 in New Braunfels, 82 Bernie, 89 Stinson. So yes, it will be another warm afternoon. We're expecting to make our way up to 86. Well, now, and then 90, 2 o'clock, and then 92 by 4 p.m. There is that 10% chance of rain, as we mentioned. And we may get a few more chances by the weekend. We'll talk more about that forecast here in just a couple minutes.
Well, a reminder for people still looking for financial assistance from the Hill Country floods. The deadline to apply for FEMA help is September 28th. That means those who live in qualifying counties can submit damages and make claims to FEMA. We have a link on our website to apply on KSAT.com.
Well, an alleged cyber attack is why Uvalde CISD schools are closed most of this week. These campuses will be closed starting today through Thursday. So district officials tell us that ransomware has been found in the district's servers. They say this hack affects systems that are crucial for safety and security, such as the central camera monitoring location and visitor management systems and the phone system. An investigation is underway at this time.
There is a brand new basketball court in the heart of Hemisphere downtown San Antonio. The Spurs unveiled the new court dedicated to their first owner, Red McCombs, and his family. And RJ Marquez got to be there.
Well, it's a big day for the Spurs and the McCombs family as they unveiled a brand new community court in honor of the first owner of our San Antonio Spurs, Red McCombs. So let's check out this brand new court right here at Hemisphere, right under the Tower of the Americas. You could see the red boot right there, got a cactus along with a basketball, and of course the Red McCombs logo right there mid-court as we got some of the kids that got an opportunity to check out this unveiling, this brand new court, again right here in the heart of downtown San Antonio. This was a team effort, not only with Hemisphere, but also Spurs Give. That is the charitable arm of Spurs Sports and Entertainment. Also, the McCombs Family Foundation, all of them coming together to put this court together. And we also got a special treat. We got to hear from two Spurs legends, including George Gervin and David Robinson. Let's hear from George Gervin, the Iceman. Also, we did a quick interview with Spurs Chairman Peter J. Holt about the importance of this.
You have this community court named at him and Charlene's name is something special to them. Red was my friend, so to be able to honor him, you know, still, and this court is in the heart of San Antonio. That's where it's supposed to be.
The McCombs family and the Spurs drove this really impressive addition to Hemisphere Park, where literally everybody from the city and from outside the city come. And now they can play basketball and have joy and fun in a safe, accessible way.
The big thing is that this court is publicly accessible, the first one that is here at Hemisphere. Again, the heart of San Antonio, as downtown San Antonio, if you will, right under the shadow of the Tower of the Americas. So anyone can come enjoy this brand new court. It is a step here as they continue the Tower Park renovations and also the brand new design out here at Hemisphere. So make sure you come out, enjoy it. It is covered as well, so that'll keep you protected from the sun. Also, reporting from Hemisphere, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, RJ. Well, today is the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month, and KSAT will be bringing you stories all month long, and we will start with a look into the life of up-and-coming comedian Chona E. Well, the San Antonio native recently sat down with our Erica Hernandez to talk comedy, family, Horizon fame, and an upcoming comedy tour. She also spoke about how important Hispanic Heritage Month is to her.
We do celebrate our Hispanic heritage in San Antonio every single day, and that's a beautiful thing and what I love so much about this city. But for me, and with everything going on, my father was an immigrant. So it gives me an opportunity to share those stories with my daughters, to go out and be the best Latina that I can possibly be in our culture, and also pay homage to the other people that are paving the way.
Well, we have much more with Chona E. later this afternoon, including details on where you can see her one and only show in San Antonio later this fall.
And Hispanic Heritage events begin tonight. The Pearl will host Mariachi Mondays at the Pearl Park every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. And the San Antonio Charro Association will host its 16 de Septiembre Charreada event from 3 to 6 p.m. on September 20th at 6126 Padre Drive. Tickets are $15 and children 12 and under get in for free.
Well, scammers are preying on people via social media posts. So you can spot those bogus claims going around on TikTok.
The latest on the investigation in the deadly Charlie Kirk shooting. I'm Jacqueline Lee. We'll have more coming up.
New details now on the investigation into the deadly shooting of political activist Charlie Kirk.
Well, ABC's Jacqueline Lee reports that Utah's governor is saying that the suspect is not cooperating. However, his friends and family are.
The Utah County District Attorney saying they are working around the clock to sort through evidence and file charges against the suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, in the death of Charlie Kirk. There's a deadline to file state charges by tomorrow. Today, FBI Director Kash Patel appearing on Fox News, saying the suspect's DNA has been found on 2 pieces of evidence. A towel investigators say was wrapped around the rifle recovered in the woods, and a screwdriver found on the roof where they believe the deadly shot was fired. Patel also saying the FBI found a note written before the suspect allegedly carried out the shooting, but it was destroyed.
We believe what did exist And we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying, the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it.
Kirk was shot and killed Wednesday on the campus of Utah Valley University. Robinson was taken into custody Thursday night.
He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating, but all the people around him are cooperating.
Utah's governor is saying investigators have interviewed the suspect's roommate, who they say was his romantic partner. Officials say it was the suspect's own father who contacted authorities after seeing these surveillance photos shared with the public. And according to the New York Times, the same images were recognized by the suspect's acquaintances in a group chat. The messages, described by the Times, reportedly show a user tagging the suspect's username, saying, "Where you at?" with a skull emoji. The suspect responding, saying the man was his doppelganger and people were trying to get him in trouble. The suspect is being held on suspicion of aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, and felony discharge of a firearm. Sources telling ABC News there could be additional charges filed against the suspect. The governor here in Utah is saying more information will be part of the charging documents. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Orem, Utah.
Well, local musician Corey Weaver put together a benefit concert in Kerrville this weekend, and the money raised will all go to Lorena Guillen, the owner of Howdy's Restaurant and the Blue Oak RV Park in Kerrville. The RV park was swept away in severe flooding, of course, back on July 4th, and the restaurant suffered severe damage as well. So Weaver brought the community together with music and vendors to help out local businesses everyone in Kerrville knows and loves.
The one thing I know how to do is play music and get people together, and so was able to get a large group of musicians to agree and donate their time, and we want to see this place get back up on their feet.
It's just the community getting together again to help each other, and that has been from day one the only source of help that we ever gotten.
Well, Lorena says she hopes to keep bringing in money from Howdy's. She says she just wants to make sure she can keep paying her employees so no one else has to be impacted any further from the devastating summer that they already had.
Well, the next time you visit the zoo, you may catch a glimpse of San Antonio's newest mascot, Savannah the giraffe. This weekend, they threw a community party to introduce Savannah with special appearances from local mascots like H.E. Buddy and What a Guy. The zoo says Savannah is more than just a mascot. She represents the zoo's efforts to save giraffes, whose numbers are dropping fast around the world. Every giraffe feeding tour and stay at Spec Boom Lodge helps fund the Giraffe Conservation Foundation, the only organization focused solely on protecting giraffes in the wild.
Well, it's pretty sunny right now, looking out there with live cam, but I know earlier you were talking about, Justin, a teeny tiny 10% chance somewhere in the city.
Itty bitty tiny small, but it is there.
Tiny.
And by the way, that was a who's who of mascots.
Right?
I love that.
Right?
Big names there. Really?
Big name.
There were. The aquifer is down 0.7 of a foot, 631.8 in your pollen count. Fall elm. I know this is getting to Courtney. 4:30. Molds and ragweed are low. We're going to talk about that rain chance. Also, some rain chances down the line coming up.
Well, we have a reminder that Monday Night Football is live on ABC tonight. So kickoff is set for 6 p.m. and that means our 6 o'clock newscast will not be on KSAT 12.
But you can catch it online. We will live stream the show on KSAT Plus and KSAT.com. And I want to thank Justin for pointing out that my voice is because of allergies and I am on the struggle bus.
Yes. It's that time of year. We start to see the fall elm and ragweed kick up. So.
Yeah. It's also, okay, so I was out of town for a couple days and I find that whenever I fly back into town, it is immediate, just pollen, slaps you in the face.
It's because you're away. And
yes. If I'm away for more than a couple days, San Antonio, just give me a break here.
San Antonio says, welcome back.
Welcome back,
Exactly. My welcome back gift every time.
All right, let's take a look at the satellite picture here. We've got some clouds starting to move in. And this is showing that we have some moisture that is starting to kind of gather a little bit. And, whoa, we just went right past the radar there. I do want to make sure I get to that and show you where we do have some shower activity starting to pop up. So we mentioned Cuero earlier. This is starting to move in your direction. And again, these clouds are starting to work their way up towards San Antonio. So we'll see if we can get something to bubble up here. So far, so good. We don't have anything in San Antonio, but it's the coastal plains where we are seeing some action. And I do think that as the afternoon wears on, we'll get some of those showers to work a little closer to town. 86 degrees at the airport and New Braunfels, closing in on 90 at Stinson. But thankfully, not a lot in the heat index department. The humidity is there, but it's not overwhelming. So we won't be looking at big heat indices today. Here's Futurecast, and this shows exactly what we've been dealing with here with some of these showers working essentially east to west. The question is, will they hold together as they do? I think there is an opportunity for that, but if you see a shower, it's going to be brief and it's not going to put down much rain. So I would say the impact on your afternoon or evening would be minimal, and that's if you see one. The odds of that are very low at about 10%. So 88 degrees at 1 o'clock, 90 at 2 p.m., 91 at 3 o'clock, and then we'll top out somewhere around 92, I think. That's where we've been really the last several days, and those rain chances, again, if we see anything, that all winds down by 7 p.m. or so, and then down into the upper 70s by midnight. Let's look long term now. This is the upper level flow, okay? So we have our ridge of high pressure, which is for the most part been holding steady and kind of keeping our weather dry. There's going to be an area of low pressure, kind of a double barrel low up here that develops. And this will be a big player for a couple days up across the northern plains. It'll bring some good rain there. It'll try to push some cooler air a little bit further south. And I don't know that it makes it down here, but I think it does set up a pattern because the high kind of moves out of the way a little bit, that we may get some northwesterly flow. And if we do, that can always bring in a few disturbances into South Texas and sometimes can generate some isolated storms. Again, I don't think we're going to see a lot. There's no big storm system or front that's going to kick up good rain chances. It's just there's enough there, I think, to maybe put some 20% chance rain, 20% chance rain in the forecast. You look over the next 7 days. Again, the bulk of the rainfall is going to be up here. So Wichita, Omaha, Minneapolis, Chicago, because of that low. Texas may see a little bit, but not much. We're not looking for a whole lot here, unfortunately. Very quickly, I do need to touch on the tropics. We have a developing system out here. Right now it's called Invest 92, but this likely becomes Gabrielle in the coming days. It's looking better and better. It's got good outflow. It's got a good shape to it. It's a big storm, but I think this thing's going to move west and then eventually turn northwest, just the way the setup is. I don't think this is going to have an impact on the lower 48. We'll still watch it, but the spaghetti models tend to agree with that, with a turn off to the north and east. All right, extended forecast, 92 tomorrow, 93 Wednesday, 92 Thursday. I'm going to keep temperatures very steady. Again, there's not much that changes other than we start to bring in some of those smaller rain chances over the weekend with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures, it's about average, a little bit above. It's not horrible. It's not brutally hot. But it's not great either. We're still waiting on that big cold front, and it's still remaining elusive for us, guys.
All right, hopefully soon. Thank you, Justin. Hopefully, maybe it'll happen this weekend. Talking about the 12th annual Head for the Cure 5K, that's coming up. It'll be nice to have good weather for that. So the event is aimed at raising awareness and money for brain cancer research. It also honors our late news director, Jim Boyle. Now, race day, a reminder again, September 27th, that is a Saturday, and things will kick off at 8 a.m. at Providence Catholic School, which is just down the street from us here at KSAT. So if you visit ksatcommunity.com, we have a link where you can register there.
Posting going around on social media claim to help you score cash by following some easy steps. Why experts say it's all a scam and how you can keep your information safe.
Well, TikTok videos claiming free money from Zelle or Cash App just for filling out a government form.
But as Japhanie Gray reports, Consumer Reports is warning it's simply not true.
Victims of scams on peer-to-peer payment platforms like Zelle or Cash App may try anything to get their money back. Durain Delevante and Gilbert Graham Jr., two social media influencers who racked up millions of views, incorrectly claiming that filing a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau will get you a payout from these companies, even claiming that you can be compensated even if you weren't a scam victim.
Whether it happened to you or not, go put in a claim, because they about to have to run you that check. CFPB suing them.
They make it sound easy, even offering complaint templates for $77 and things like a credit repair guide for $24.99.
So with the CFPB losing funding, there's just not much oversight right now. And these influencers are jumping on that. They're really going after people who are struggling financially.
Now, Graham did not respond to CR's request for comment. Delevante says Cash App and Zelle are unfairly targeting him to divert attention away from their own shortcomings in combating online fraud and scams.
If you bought their financial products or follow their advice, the best thing to do is to contact the FTC, the CFPB, and your state attorney general and file a complaint.
Zelle says consumers were duped through social media into filing complaints based on a fabricated settlement, while Cash App says it has made significant improvements to how we identify and act on consumer complaints. CR has tips to keep you safe from payment platform scams. Be skeptical of posts promising easy money. Scammers use urgency and emotion to trick you. And before sending money online, slow down. Double check who you're paying and what you're paying for. Jeffrey Gray, KSAT 12 News.
As the war in Ukraine rages on, President Trump is now pressuring European allies to impose new sanctions on Russia. I'm Christiane Cordero in Washington with that story coming up.
Well, the U.S. and U.K. will sign an agreement this week ushering in new deals on nuclear power between companies in the two countries. One of the things the accord will do is make it easier to build new nuclear power stations in both nations. Well, the announcement of the deal comes ahead of President Trump's state visit to the UK this week. The British government says the agreement between D.C. and London clears the way for a major expansion of new nuclear projects in the United Kingdom. It is also consistent with moves by the Trump administration this year to support nuclear energy. That includes measures to speed up reactor testing and expand uranium enrichment.
Well, President Trump heads to the UK this week while pressuring European allies to impose new sanctions on Russia. ABC's Christiane Cordero reports Russia has skirted additional consequences in recent months, despite its escalated attacks on Ukraine that seem to have spilled over into NATO countries.
It's been 1 month since Presidents Trump and Putin walked a red carpet in Alaska in what was billed as a high-stakes summit to pursue peace in Ukraine. And today, with Russia's aggression only since escalating, Trump says he's ready to impose new sanctions on Russia, but only if NATO does too and cuts off Europe's supply of Russian oil and heavily sanctions China, something unlikely to happen.
I don't want them to buy oil, and the sanctions that they're putting on are not tough enough.
President Trump's message comes ahead of his travel to the UK tomorrow for a second state visit, and as Putin shows no signs of slowing down his war. The president has set several deadlines in recent months related to Russia's war with Ukraine. Each of those deadlines have passed consequence-free. Over the weekend, NATO ally Romania scrambled fighter jets after they said Russian drones violated their airspace. Just days before, Poland shot down drones it claims Russia deliberately flew into its airspace. Russia says it is not targeting NATO countries. Trump downplayed the incident as a possible mistake.
Could have been a mistake. Could have been a mistake.
The president, who vowed to end the war within 24 hours of returning to office, has recently conceded reaching a peace deal isn't as easy as he thought it'd be. On Capitol Hill, some Republicans are adding to the pressure, saying it's time to act.
I think the president, though, the good news is waking up to the fact that Putin is not negotiating in good faith, not making concessions, and has to be dealt with.
And today, Russia and Belarus are holding joint military exercises. A Kremlin spokesperson claims NATO is de facto waging war against Russia with its aid to Ukraine. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Taking a look outside with live cam. It is a little warm. Is this above average, you said, Justin? Just a little bit?
Yeah, our afternoons have been just a hair above average. Nothing too much, but it's just been hot, consistently hot each and every afternoon, and today will be no different. And when you look at the calendar for September as a whole, It has been above average several days. In fact, the whole first week we were above average. If you remember, we hit 100. We had 3 days here where we had a front and some rain, and that was very, very nice. But we're now back to either average, that's what the gray color denotes, or orange, which is above average. And I think this entire week we will spend either at or above average. So September is turning out to be pretty warm, at least so far. We'll see where we end up. Although I will tell you, if you look down the line, it continues to show heat all the way through the end of September. Forecast for today, 90 at 2 o'clock, 92 at 4 p.m. That will be our high. As we've been saying, there is a small chance of a shower as you get later into the afternoon, about a 10% chance of that. 82 at 10 p.m. and then eventually we'll drop back down into the 70s by tomorrow morning. What about rain chances? Today is just 10%. Friday is just 10%. We do bump those rain chances up just a hair going into the weekend, 20% both Saturday and Sunday. Also, it appears we're headed towards a La Nina winter. What does that mean? We'll talk about it coming up.
All right, thank you, Justin. Well, to a troubling new Wall Street Journal investigation that says toxic fumes have sometimes leaked into airplanes.
ABC's Gio Benitez reports they have made crews and passengers dangerously ill.
An investigation from the Wall Street Journal is raising concern about the number of flights with toxic fumes on board and the potential health consequences.
Our union has been concerned about this for decades, and we've been concerned about it because of the very real life consequences that crew members have faced because of contaminated bleed air.
On most planes, air is pulled in from the outside through engines using a system known as bleed air. If any seals are worn or degraded, oils from lubricated bearings enter the air and vaporize in the heat, releasing unknown quantities of toxic compounds. According to the Wall Street Journal, over the last 20 years, a neurologist has treated about a dozen pilots and more than 100 flight attendants for what's being described as brain injuries after alleged exposure to fumes on planes. The incident spiking in 2017, reportedly driven in part by leaks on the Airbus A320. The Journal, citing internal documents, reports Airbus loosened maintenance rules after suspected fume events to get planes back in the air. In response to the report, Airbus tells ABC News its aircraft are designed and manufactured according to all relevant and applicable airworthiness requirements. Back in February, smoke filled the cabin on this Delta flight, forcing the Boeing aircraft to make an emergency landing.
We need manufacturers to be required to make airplanes that either have the filters or create a system where we're not using this bleed air as the means of recirculated air in the cabin.
In response, the FAA telling us studies have shown cabin air is as good as or better than the air found in offices and homes. A recent bipartisan bill proposed in Congress would require specialized filters on planes. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
Well, September is Deaf Awareness Month, and it celebrates deaf culture and history. The World Health Organization estimates there are about 430 million people experiencing hearing loss worldwide.
It is hard to track exactly how many people are deaf or hard of hearing in Texas by itself, but here in San Antonio, there is a community. The Deaf Association of San Antonio, or DASA, hosted the city's first deaf festival in more than 10 years this past weekend.
My love for the deaf community, deaf culture, I wanted the students to come and see for themselves, see that it's okay to come and talk with deaf people. This is a very loving and welcoming community.
Well, that woman you just heard from is Shannon, and she is an ASL teacher at a local high school where she prides herself on getting students immersed in the deaf community. The organization hopes to make this Deaf Festival an annual event once again.
Well, school is back in session, and we want to help you highlight the educators making San Antonio schools bright. Now is your chance to nominate your favorite educator at your school or your child's school for KSAT's Educator of the Month award. Start by scanning the QR code on your screen, and you can also visit our website at ksat.com and search Educator of the Month.
From social media trends to fad diets, so much is out there about eating high amounts of protein. And while protein is incredibly important for our health, consuming too much at the expense of other types of nutrition comes with some risk. So what you need to know about protein intake.
And a popular diet plan may have some added benefits, how it could be good for your oral health and your waistline.
A deal may have been reached to keep TikTok in the United States. That's according to President Donald Trump. The president took to Truth Social to announce a meeting between U.S. and Chinese officials and said it went, quote, very well, end quote. He also said a deal was reached regarding a, quote, certain company that young people in our country very much wanted to save, end quote. He also announced that he will be speaking with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday. Trump has repeatedly extended the deadline for TikTok's fate and was non-committal on an agreement when asked by reporters on Sunday evening, according to the AP. There was no immediate confirmation from China on a deal regarding TikTok, but the president said, quote, the relationship remains a very strong one, end quote. The deadline for TikTok to either divest its businesses in the US or shut down the social media app in the country was September 17th. You can read this full story right now on KSAT.com. Ivan Herrera, KSAT 12 News.
Well, Facebook users are starting to receive payments tied to the social media giant's $725 million settlement related to the Cambridge Analytica scandal. The now closed marketing firm was accused of getting Facebook user information in order to target voters during the 2016 presidential election. Multiple lawsuits were filed against Facebook that claimed the company allowed information to get to third parties without permission. Anyone who used Facebook between May of 2007 and December of 2022 was eligible to file a claim, but they had to do that before August 2023. It'll take about 10 weeks for all those payments to be dispersed. Facebook's parent company, Meta, did not admit wrongdoing as part of the settlement.
Well, a new study finds even more benefits from the Mediterranean diet. That's a plant-based way of eating that focuses on fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans and seeds, and extra virgin olive oil. So previous studies have shown the diet can reduce the risk for diabetes, high cholesterol, dementia, memory loss, depression, and breast cancer. Now, scientists say it can also reduce your risk of gum disease. So that in turn reduces your risk for inflammation that can lead to chronic disease and dementia. Inflammation can also cause vascular disease, which can damage organs such as the kidneys, the lungs, the liver, and the brain. The research included 200 study participants in the United Kingdom.
A lot of diets push protein. Well, Michelle Cardell with Weight Watchers International says actual protein needs do vary based on age, body composition, activity level, and health goals. But she says a good rule of thumb for more sedentary adults is about 1 gram of protein per kilogram of weight. So for a person who weighs 150 pounds, that translates to about 68 grams of protein each day.
More active individuals or older adults, those who are seeking weight loss, and those looking to build or preserve muscle may benefit, though, from higher intakes.
Cardell says to aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, but also make sure to keep a balance with your eating patterns.
Look out there with a live cam. It might be a little warm for lunch outside, speaking of eating, but maybe if you're in the shade, it'd be okay.
Yeah, it's in the mid-80s right now. It's not so bad. And we mentioned earlier that we've been kind of right at about average each and every day. Our average is now down to 90. We're already up to 86. I do think we rise above average today, but not by much. The record is 98, so it could be worse. Could be worse. That was set back in 1953. And we've been as low as 57 back in 1945. No temperatures like that in the forecast. But we could see a little bit of rain. We'll talk about it coming up.
We're talking about TV shows in the break, and I genuinely believe it's important to stay inside a little bit when it's a little toasty. I feel like we've made it through the bulk of the summer, but it's like a little bit of, like it's lingering heat, and it's kind of a lot still.
But there are the tiny rain chances that might give you some cloud cover.
Maybe a little relief.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still like it. I'm not looking forward to the really cold stuff. I realize, though, that, I'm in the minority.
You're in the minority.
That's fine. That's fine. This weather's been pretty good. I would like to see a little bit of rain, and there's a little bit out there at this hour. We're seeing some showers and some good downpours down along the coast, stretching from Victoria to Beeville over to Corpus Christi. Kind of looks like a little bit of a sea breeze action. We'll see. But either way, it's just sort of influx of moisture, and some of that is trying to work in the direction of San Antonio. Will it make it? Maybe. I'd say that anything we see here will be very few and far between, but we are seeing some of these clouds move a little bit closer, and that is an indication that that moisture is trying to drift in from the coast. 86 degrees at the airport, 86 in New Braunfels, 82 Boerne, 89 right now at Stinson, so it is plenty warm there. Again, our average is 90, so we are going to be above average today. In the Futurecast, Yes, it does show some of these spotty showers continuing through roughly 6, 7 o'clock before dying down with the loss of daytime heating. So hour by hour here, 90 at 2 o'clock, 92 at 4 p.m. We'll keep a shower in the forecast to about 7. Otherwise, it'll be partly cloudy, 92. It may feel a little bit warmer than that with the humidity. 82, 10 p.m. and then 80 by 11 p.m. staying partly cloudy. All right, we got to talk a little bit about La Nina. Remember this? All has to do with waters out in the Pacific and the warmth, and everything's kind of interconnected right on Earth. But that plays a role in what kind of weather we see, usually during the wintertime. And here across the southern tier of the country, we typically have a drier setup when we're in a La Nina, and then most of the action is to the north where the jet stream is. It is also usually warmer than average, although I will caution you, in La Nina years, we have seen some big-time Arctic blasts. So it's not to say we can't see that. It's just that if you average it all out, we tend to have slightly warmer than average. So let's take a look back here at the last 10 years or so. We had El Nino winters in 2015, 2016, 2019, and 2024. We had La Nina winters in 2018, 2021, 2022, and 2023. We had 3 years in a row there. And we briefly went to El Nino, and then this last winter we were neutral, and now we're going back to La Nina. So that's not good, because that means rainfall is likely going to be few and far between once we get into the winter months. That's kind of I think the main takeaway there. 92 degrees coming up tomorrow, 93 Wednesday, 92 Thursday. Yes, we do bring in some rain chances by the weekend. As we said, the pattern shifts just a little bit, enough to maybe give us some small rain chances coming up over the weekend. And yes, temperatures will be in the 70s for lows all the way through the end of the 7-day forecast there. Hey, real quick, I'm going to bring back my Just Ask Justin question that I asked this morning, because you notice there's a lot of acorns on the ground?
Yes.
Because the oak trees are shedding their acorns, which is, turns into oak trees. But there's one animal that is prolific in spreading the reproduction of oak trees. Is it raccoons, squirrels, deer, or wild pigs?
I've physically seen this in my backyard.
Yes?
Can I say it?
Yes.
I think it's squirrels.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. They
Yes.
put so many of them in their mouth, like 17 of them.
Yes, the audience got that right this morning too. It is squirrels. Yes.
I was like, it couldn't be wild pigs.
Well, if you think about it, yeah, but squirrels collect and bury thousands of acorns in the ground. About 25% of them they forget about.
Oh,
and
that's funny.
They become trees.
That's like with me trying to hide extra cash. Forget about it.
There you go.
Thank you, Justin.
We'll be right back. And now bringing the world together through music.
Yeah, ABC's James Longman has a look at the spectacular drone show at the huge concert also taking place over the Vatican over this weekend.
In world-famous St. Peter's Square,
make some noise for God!
Pharrell Williams, John Legend, Karol G and Jennifer Hudson, among a whole host of megastars coming together for the Grace of the World concert. Throughout the night, a spectacular drone show wowing the tens of thousands assembled. As opera star Andrea Bocelli sang Amazing Grace, some of Michelangelo's most famous artworks reproduced by 3,000 drones. The famous La Pieta, the hands of God and Jesus almost touching, and the dove of the Holy Spirit high over the basilica. And an image of the late Pope Francis, greeted by huge cheers from the crowd. The elaborate light show taking a year and a half to pull together. Pharrell and Bocelli co-directing the spectacle to send a message of unity through music, part of the Vatican's World Meeting on Human Fraternity. Karol G's duet with Bocelli electrifying the night. And the Virginia-based choir Voices of Fire spreading joy as the word lit up the night sky.
The concert was extraordinary and something of a birthday treat for Pope Leo. He turned 70 yesterday. People assembled in the Vatican to wish him a happy birthday. He thanked them in his usual Sunday address. And if you want to catch up on that amazing concert, it is available to stream now on Disney Plus and Hulu. James Longman, ABC News in London.
And the Emmy goes to Britt Lauer.
Severance may have had the most nominations going into Emmys night, but it wasn't the show that took home the biggest prize. The HBO medical drama The Pit won the Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series.
I want to dedicate this on behalf of everyone to all the healthcare workers, frontline first responders. Respect them, protect them, trust them. Thank you.
Seth Rogen's The Studio, meanwhile, won for Best Comedy, and the Best Limited Series prize went to Adolescence, a British crime drama from Netflix. The show's young star, 15-year-old Owen Cooper, made Emmys history, becoming the youngest ever winner in that category.
Tonight proves that if you listen and you focus and you step out your comfort zone, you can achieve anything in life.
The Japanese animated film Demon Slayer topped the weekend box office, taking in about $70 million. The Conjuring Last Rites, in its second weekend of release, notched the number 2 slot with just over $26 million. Rounding out the top 3, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, with just over $18 million in ticket sales.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes.
And happy birthday to Tommy Lee Jones, who turns 79 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Tommy Lee, fellow Texan.
Yeah, 79. I still picture him like he looks on The Fugitive.
I know, right? Okay, 10% chance of a shower today, otherwise 92, 91, low to mid-90s, basically, all the way into the weekend. We are hoping for maybe just a little bit of rain, at least some slightly better chances by Saturday and Sunday.
We will take it.
Yes, we'll take those chances. And
we can be
better
positive.
next week.
Exactly. Look at us.
Better
Positivity.
Next week. Yeah. Well, have a good Monday.
Thanks for watching.